Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 40 Before Noon podcast. We have a very special one today, as we have had NFL athletes on, we've had Twitch streamers, we've had YouTubers, but now we have our very first reality TV star, Devin Walker. How are you, man?
Also, just for the record, let's get this correct. I am a professional athlete.
Are you a professional athlete?
I get paid to compete, gentlemen.
That's true.
That's true.
Okay.
That's very true.
Yeah, and some would say I'm a professional athlete, comedian, politician, and reality TV star.
So what order would you put it in?
There's actually a 4-pronged approach here. If we're being honest,
Quadruple threat.
I'm a very good golfer. Kidding, I suck. I'm a 22 handicap, but I am playing Dan Orlovsky in a golf match. So
damn.
if Orlovsky gets a hold of this, allegedly, he did accept the offer, but we haven't dictated the terms yet. So at that point, I would also be a professional golfer.
There you go.
Just adding to the resume as it keeps going.
Yep.
All right, cool. So if you guys are brand new to the podcast, we drink 40s on here. That's what we do. Devin has 40 ounces of alcohol. He's done the math with what was left in his beer. Zoo actually got an Old English today, too. And we got the Mickey's action here as well. So
malt liquor, boys.
It's $3.
Also, I may be your first ever podcast host or podcast guest that's currently on psychedelics.
Oh wow!
So there's also that we can throw that in the blender as well. Should be an entertaining hour.
This will be awesome,
bro. You're gonna be like our Mike Tyson. You remember when he went on that pod and was on shrooms? You're our Mike Tyson. There you go.
Yeah, I am a lot like Mike Tyson too. We have a lot of similarities, so that's good. Pretty much just keep that going, keep that ball rolling.
All right, cool. So I think the majority of you guys probably watching the podcast have seen Devin on TV. The overall consensus is a love him or hate him thing, I guess. I think you've kind of said the exact same thing as well. I'm on the side of love. I'm just going to be brutally honest, just because I enjoy the fact when people can talk shit to others and they aren't scared on TV. It's like my favorite thing in the world. So today we want to go over a little bit more of like your life before MTV, because
He's cracking his shotgun.
Are you shotgunning it right now?
We're trying to get a jump start. I am listening though. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to jumpstart these 40 ounces, boys. We don't have a fucking day here, gentlemen.
Right. Fair play.
Okay, so the question...
You finish your question, Buck. Go ahead.
Yeah, keep talking about loving me. I'm going to absolutely crush this fucking can.
All right, the first question was, like, throughout high school, was drinking a big part of, like, your life then, too? I'm assuming that you just didn't kickstart it later on.
Yeah, I've been in the game for a while, to be fair. I have 3 older brothers. And they're all pretty intense drinkers. They can handle their own beverages. So I got into it early. Funny story, actually. Little did I know, I was trying to steal vodka from my parents' liquor cabinet, and I was the 4th one to the party. So it was 85% water. Because my brothers just kept taking it and then refilling it to water to the same place. And we all played that game over and over and over again. My parents weren't big drinkers. They just had bottles if they had parties or whatever. So we drink it and fill it back up. But by the time it got to me, they're doing this for years. And by the time it got to me, I'm thinking I'm getting drunk, but I'm drinking water
and hydrated.
I'm drinking vodka flavored water.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah. So wait, is it just you, like you 4? Is that just your whole family? Like that's the only siblings you have? 3 older brothers?
Yeah, my parents had adopted a girl, I guess my sister. I don't know how that would really work, but Amy, and she passed away when I was like 2. So there is technically a 5th. Also, one of my brothers is not my biological brother. He's my oldest brother's best friend, but he's I consider him a brother. He's a part of the family.
Hell yeah. And there's the shotgun right there too. Get it going, dude.
Let's go.
I want to say that's the first ever shotgun that's been done on the podcast as well. So
I want to say, yeah, we'd have a few chugs, I think, but no.
Absolutely electric. And finished. And finished cleanly with speed, its style, and grace.
So good. That we used to do back in the day, because my parents weren't huge drinkers either, where they have like the 30 rack of beer just in the fridge in case we had people over. So we'd open up the back of it and like shove soda cans in there, and we just take them all out until there was just like a front row left. But that was kind of
Wow.
our thing. And they didn't
That's
find
smart.
out for years afterwards too. So it all
The
worked
sock
out.
drawer. I did the sock drawer. My dad liked Michelob Ultras.
Oh yeah.
Well, in classic Michelobs, but I would take one. He would have 3 or 4, 5 times a week, put the socks on, watch a game after work. And so, well, allegedly 3 or 4. I think oftentimes it was 7, 8, or 9. So I would start stockpiling early in the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I would go sock drawer. In a sock in the sock drawer, and the demand to do my own laundry. So my parents thought I was like a good kid as well, and I just want you to find the beers I stole from dad. And by the end, but I would conserve. I would squirrel them away, and then by the time it got to Friday, the wiffle ball game at Scaffidi's house got turned up.
That's so good. All right. You mentioned how you're a professional athlete. Do you have a big sports background, like from high school or growing up at all?
Yeah, actually, I'm a 2-time state champion.
Really?
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I made that up.
Good to know.
But I am a 4-sport varsity lettered athlete.
Okay.
All right,
That
give
is
us the
true.
4 sports. Yeah.
Yeah, so I played football, I played baseball, I ran track, and I played lacrosse. And so those were, and two of those ran in. I don't know what the word is, but they were the same season. So
Yeah.
I was good enough to be allowed to play both.
Okay.
So I would go to a track meet to run. I ran the 400. And so I would go and run the 400 and then go and play a lacrosse game.
That's insane.
I was good. I was recruited pretty heavily by some substantial D1 schools. We won the state tournament for All Stars. Our region won it 3 years in a row, and I was the defensive MVP of all of Massachusetts. So I am a fucking dog. Don't get it twisted. I do drink. I drink a lot of cans, and I like to dabble with the finer things in life. But I'm a dog.
Fair
Did
play.
you end up going to college for any of the sports, or I guess what happened afterwards then?
So I got kind of robbed. I was playing an intramural football game, and I went to block a punt like an absolute dickhead, and I ruptured 2 discs in my back.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, which cleaned me out of athletics. So at that point, I transitioned fully into I guess the sales industry, we'll call it. And I kind of was bouncing around and just visiting my friends at their colleges. So I did audit some classes. I went the Shauna Clear, shout out Shauna Clears. That is my alma mater, allegedly. I lived there for about a year, Coastal Carolina, and in College Park. And then they respectfully asked me to head out. So I was.
Is there a reason why?
It was getting a little dicey over there. Yeah, it was getting a little dicey. It was me and like 400 kids that went to the college in a little like block of duplexes.
Oh.
And I just kind of like stayed there. And so they essentially or eventually got hip to that and asked me to move along.
That's funny.
But yeah, that was my college experience. No actual college though. No degree, no nothing.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say then, did your brothers all play sports as well then too, or were you just the God gift of the family?
My brother Ryan played baseball at Tampa. He's
That's
a lawyer
badass.
now. Yeah, he's
Damn.
very good. Yeah, very good athlete. Shortstop, quarterback, point guard, classic. 2 years older than me. So he was really who I competed with. My oldest brother, Brendan, is the most competitive person that's taken the most L's of all time. Kid cannot get a W, to the point where he's also a really bad loser, to the point where we have now started throwing events so that he doesn't implode holidays. Where if we're playing darts or we're playing dice or whatever, I mean, even in dice, in games of odds, he's stacking L's. It's blows my mind. I'm like, how are you
family game night,
losing?
man?
Yeah, I'm like, how are you losing at cards? Like you can't, like there's even have a strategy involved. The kid just can't get out of his own way. And then Yuri, who is Brennan's best friend, I mean, obviously close friend of mine, consider him a brother. He was a multi-sport athlete as well. So it was, me kind of always wanting to compete with my brothers in something, which led me early. I didn't recognize this, but led me early into sports gambling because I started handicapping events for myself so that they would be fair. So it's like we'd be playing basketball or whatever in the driveway, and just naturally, like I have a math mind, and I'd be like, boys, this isn't fair. Like I'm not. So like I'm gonna need to get some points here. And I covered a lot of the spreads. Good teams win. The great teams go.
You guys had your own little sports gambling ring, like just
No.
between the brothers.
Yeah, dude. It was like we were putting fucking Cheez-Its and ham sandwiches on the line. That's the truth. I wonder if I can open this beer with this beer because I think it's my only shot. I don't have a lighter. Think I can do it?
You're going back-to-back shotties?
Whoa!
That was sick.
That was pretty impressive. All right, sweet. So what I wanted to ask then too is we'll kind of like fast forward more into your career now. Is how did you get involved in like MTV or like how did the first casting go? Were there other shows that you casted for before?
Did you watch them? And also like were you a
No,
fan of
this
them?
is fucked up actually because they claim that this story didn't happen, and they're like, "Who's this person that you keep referencing?" I do have a pretty good memory, and I as you can tell, enjoy a cold can or two.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was a little fuzzy, but I don't think so. I was singing karaoke at a dive bar in San Diego, and
What song?
I sang. What was that?
What song?
"Creep" by Radiohead.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep. And I went to pour what I thought was a wax candle, like Ricky Martin style, on myself, but it was actually an oil candle.
Oh God!
Oh.
And just dumped hot oil all over my chest.
Jesus Christ!
on the 4th of July, like the absolute moron that I am. And afterwards, I went outside. I was having a cigarette, and this woman came up to me. Still don't know who she is. If you hear this somehow, message me because I want to thank you. She did what's called an OTF with me outside, an on the fly interview, and was like, she's like, I'm a recruiter for reality TV, and I think you're hysterical. Just do a quick video. Tell me your name, your age, where you're from, blah, 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 and I'll submit you to a few things.
Holy shit!
What?
And I was like, all right, like light it up, let it rip. And I did, a little 3-minute interview with her outside of a bar, like with a dart in my hand. And I didn't think anything of it. And 4 months later, she reached out again and was like, hey, you have 3 offers. So one of them is Are You the One? So you should apply for this show. They're interested. And I was like, all right, what's the application process? She's like, here's what it is. I'm like, I'm definitely not doing that. I'll make a video. And the video is actually electric.
You have
it's
it?
me walking around my hometown, just getting absolutely blasted, and telling, shout out Marge Britton for filming the video. She did a great job. And it ends, I think we're filming it in November, and it ends with me fully nude in the river in Massachusetts in November. So it was like a 40-degree river. So at that point, I kind of was editing the video being like, well, this is a absolute lock. One of the best pieces of film I've ever seen. And so, yeah, I immediately sent that in. They called me out, flew to LA, and the rest is history. Got on Are You the One, stole the show, won it for my castmates against their will. Those idiots were trying to lose so hard. This is a story nobody knows happened because they didn't air it. I told them I looked at the algorithm. Well, I didn't look at it. I thought of it. And I'm like, we can win this shit in 7 weeks. It's not hard. Right? You just like, because we had
So which
we
show
had
is this? Which show?
this is
Are You the One?
This is Are You the One? This is
This
my
so-
first show.
Did you watch
The
this one, Buck?
concept-
Like the concept? I don't know, because some people might not know like the concept.
Yeah,
I
so
guess.
the concept is 10 guys and 10 girls go into a house, and all of them have been matched up. And you need to find out who your perfect match is. And if all 10 people find out who their match is, then you win $1 million. But the twist of our season was, and there's 10 matchup ceremonies where you pick somebody and they tell you how many people are right, but they don't tell you who those people are.
Okay.
And they do it with a big fucking beaming light as well, too.
And they do it
Yeah.
with giant beaming lights. It's actually
Yeah,
kind of lit. And
no,
shout
it
out
is
Are You the
cool.
One? Season 9 is back and they've gone global.
Really?
Yeah, season 9 is streaming on Paramount Plus right now. I just did an ad for it with Viacom. So they are back. They had a little controversy, but they're back.
So you guys
So-
kind of work together in the house, like you're all on like the same type of team to all get matched, sort of.
Yeah, you're all on the same team, but also people get feelings for each other and then they become confirmed non-matches. So you can go to this thing called the truth booth, which is very funny. And if you, so like say you like, I don't know, Jill, you go with Jill to the truth booth. If your castmates vote you in, you go to the truth booth and it's like Devin and Jill in the truth booth. And then it will like, the lights will flash and it will say perfect match or no match.
Oh, okay.
But if you're fucking Jill, you don't want it. You don't want it to be a no match.
Yeah.
So typically that's when things start to implode. Now,
Okay.
if you just look at it, if you take emotion out of it, we also had a huge benefit that was given to us called a blackout, where if we got no matches on a given night, we would lose $250,000. But what that allows you to do is essentially win the show in 6 episodes instead of 7. So what I was trying to do initially was like, hey, we should intentionally black out. It's going to give us so much data. And then based off of, once we find out like who a confirmed match is, we never send them into the truth booth. We keep them in the house so we never black out again.
True.
Okay.
And if you keep them together and you just keep shifting the other pairs and finding out those beams, you can win the show in 7 episodes. They're all like, Devin, fuck off. You're an idiot. And at that point, I was kind of being an idiot. I was in a house with a bunch of morons that were all juiced out of their fucking skulls. And my dumbass had just like rolled in there from, wherever I had gotten off the bus and started, drinking beers and hanging out. So they weren't super into me. And I was with the hottest chick. So it was all the guys tried to beat me up pretty much, actually.
Jesus.
And so they didn't like me, but they all came crawling back at one point. Long story short, they all
this
came
might
crawling back.
Oh, my bad. Never mind. Go ahead.
They all came crawling back, and they said to me on week 8, Devin, we need you to win for us. And I said, I will do this under one condition. You all line up in a line, and you, one by one, all 19 of you, come over to me and apologize.
Oh, my God.
And then I will sage cleanse you. And you'll go stand over there until the line is done. And then I'll come over and address the group and we'll solve this problem. And they agreed to it. And one by one, they came up and said, I made them say, I'm sorry for being a moron. And then
That's so badass. I can't
and
even
then I
lie, man.
sage
That's a
cleansed
fucking
them.
dream.
And then they went and waited by the pool.
Was that part aired on television?
No.
Oh
The only thing that they showed was like, so I went and addressed the group and I was like, we're gonna go up to the living room and we're gonna get, like, we have a lot of intel now because we know we have some confirmed matches, we have some other shit. Like, we're gonna literally, you guys are visual learners, clearly. So we're gonna have you all stand, up in front of us so that we can look. And it came down to two scenarios. Mathematically, it came down to two scenarios. After like literally, I stayed up all night. The iconic scene is the red Solo cups, and I had denoted like I had made. They wouldn't allow us to have things that represented people. So like this bottle couldn't be you, and this cap couldn't be someone else, because if you can really get a physical like visual of it, it's way easier
to figure
solve.
out. Okay.
But they did allow me to use red Solo cups. I just couldn't like label them in any way. So that's the scene in there where the red Solo cups come up, and then we came up with two available options, and we flipped the coin for it. Actually, true story.
Holy shit.
And the coin flip's fucked up because me and Hunter Barfield are really, really, really big Red Sox fans. And Hunter Barfield was my guy. When everyone tried to beat me up, he jumped off the balcony and barrel rolled into the center of the circle and was like, we're not beating him up. And he's like,
so you actually almost got beat up, like.
Oh, they all tried to beat me up. No, I wasn't kidding.
I thought you were saying like kind of like beat up on you, like in the game.
No, they tried to beat me up.
What?
It was gonna, yeah. They didn't know what to do with me. So you have to keep in mind, it was like a bunch of morons with IQs of 90, and I came in there, big dick swinging, bagged the hottest girl, and then like started making fun of all of them. So they were they were not stoked with your boy, and they're all juiced out, and they can't get their fix because they go through your bag, so all their steroids are gone. So they're like, back knee and roid rage, and they're mad at me. And they're all
caused
juiced
this
up
beat
on
up
liquor.
story. Like, what's the whole story behind like the actual getting like surrounded here by like?
I forget exactly what I did. It was after a matchup ceremony, and I think I just made like some comment about all of them being fucking idiots, which they were. Out with the exception of Zach Longo and Nelson and Chuck. Those were the only ones that weren't absolute morons. And I like those guys today. Nelson's a big challenge guy.
Yeah.
But even at that point, Zach and Nelson were on the wrong side of history. And Hunter's my dog. But it was me, Hunter, and Chuck pretty much versus the rest of the house because they had picked their side. And so I don't know what I did, but I did something fucking stupid like I always do, and then everyone was mad at me.
And like full on like surrounded you, was like ready to swing. Like
there was like 7 guys that were about to beat me up. And
God.
also there's cameras all over the house. No one from the production team was attempting to stop this event. So I think I also rubbed them the wrong way. I was like, wait a minute. This is so fucked up. Like, are you guys going to step? Like, typically this is when security comes in. Like, I'm not ready to fight 6 guys.
This might be a dumb question, but we've always wondered it with reality shows before. With shows like that where, like it's a perfect match situation and they set it up for you beforehand, do they almost do it in a way where they know drama's going to happen, where they put, I guess, do you think
100%.
2 people 100% are going to date each other, but they purposely match them with other people just to, make good television?
So I'm not, what I would like Are You the One to do is to have the host. Do you remember the magicians that used to put their predictions in a glass bowl and hang it in like the center of Vegas or something? I forget what the guys' names were.
But David Blaine?
Well, David Blaine might have done it, but there was 2 guys that did it. One was one didn't say anything, and the other one was like the charismatic one. One was silent, one was charismatic. But anyways, the idea was they would like predict things, and then they'd put it in this bowl and it would hang in Vegas. After the event happened, they would go and unlock the bowl and take the prediction out, and it would be right. What I always wanted Are You the One to do, and they'll never do this for this reason, but I wanted them to put the matches in a thing, right? So they couldn't like randomly switch them, because how do I know? Like, I'm just counting on you to have integrity at this point. And like, as people are catching feelings and you're trying to make a TV show, it would be very easy to just like move, let's actually make them a match. You know what I'm saying? To like juice up the drama. And I believe that happens. I mean, what you're doing first is it is reality allegedly, but then after that comes TV show. So it's like they're making a TV show,
like tampering with shit and all that. Like,
I don't know necessarily if they'd be tampering with it, but I think they're deciding the matches based off of who's going to make the best TV.
okay,
That makes sense. Because I've always wondered it based off. There's I don't know how much Big Brother you've ever watched before, but there's a part
Literally
on Big Brother.
zero. Big Brother sucks.
I was gonna say I know you fucking hate him, but there's a thing on Big Brother where there's like a veto and you're chosen for the veto, and obviously there's specific people that you're working with that they want to be there to help you out, but you put your hand into this thing.
Oh
that
yeah.
Nobody can see any of the fucking like the names that are in there. So I just think the producers stack the shit out of it with all the things that are going to make good television and like actually make it exciting versus every single person's name.
It's always like, oh, I hope I get picked to defend my girl, and then like he gets picked, and it's like, all right, fuck off, man. Like, fuck. How many Gregs were in the fucking thing? For all we know,
right? And
Exactly,
this is a classic. I've actually implemented this strategy before on the challenge. When I have people, which also hasn't made air. I forget her name, but someone did it on Champ Stars, where she cut up wedges of fruit, and they had predetermined the order of who was going to pick, and she was like, "I've put 7 slices of lime and 1 slice of lemon in this can, and whoever picks the lemon, we're all gonna vote for you to go into elimination." And I believe it was Lolo Jones that had decided to pick
I watched
first.
that. Yeah, I watched that season. Yeah.
So she went in and picked, and I could be fucking the story up, but she goes in there and picks a lemon. And then it flashes to the interview. I forget her name. I did a season with her. She's an English Olympian. And they're like, "Were there any limes in that can?" And she's like, "I don't know. I guess the world will never know." So she could have very easily just put all lemons in there knowing who was picking first.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
You know what I mean?
It's smart on her end too, though, dude.
Yeah,
correct.
If no one's gonna catch her, that's
And I did that when I picked Skulls and Rivals 3, my next show as we go down the timeline of my reality TV career. I thought of this. Everyone's like, "I wonder how this motherfucker keeps pulling white skulls." Me and Cheyenne had conversations about it, and we were like, "Listen, we've already lost. We're rookies. It's very likely they want us to lose again. They just brought us back because they didn't have anybody else. So if it's our turn to pick, don't pick the one on the top. Dig around in there and give yourself an actual chance. Like, make it random. You know what I mean? Because someone has to put those skulls in that can. And they're going to put it in a certain order. And when we get down into the sand, TJ decides who goes first. So if they know you're going to go first, they want you to pick the black skull. They might put the black skull on top. Yeah. Thinking you're just going to take the first one. So we never took the fucking first one. We always made it an actual randomized event.
And
if you can,
producers want to do that,
if you can actually randomize the event, it gives yourself the best chance of success.
But how does that work then? If you've been on all these reality shows and then like you said, like you feel like some things aren't real or like being like, kind of messed with.
12.
How's the relationship with people after these shows? Because it's like, I feel like obviously everyone's doing anything they can to win. Of course, like you said, like these guys are maybe messing around with shit, whatever. Like, how do you trust these people like after the show? If you're like, fuck, you kind of screwed me out of like winning this, winning that. You know what I mean?
So I've had like
weird kind of like experiences after shows, kind of like good or bad, I guess.
I've gotten very lucky, and I have a good general sense of character. So when I think somebody is off, for the most part, they're off, and I don't really fuck with them. There's been instances where I've thought that someone was my friend and they aren't, or I mean, what's happening right now in the current season is absolutely hysterical. We can get into that later, but people attempt to make certain individual scapegoats, right? especially people whose game they don't respect. So
Yeah.
when you're in a house, like we've talked about my athletic background, but when I'm in a house with these guys, I'm not the most athletic. My what I'm able to do is be the most crafty, and to be the most efficient. Right. So like I'm not going to smack my head against the wall 1,000 times to try to get through it. I'm just going to walk around the wall when a bunch of the other guys will just beat their chest and try to do it like a caveman. And that irritates them because they're like, well, if we all just did it this way, then the strongest person would win. And we can understand that. But we don't want to get beat by getting outsmarted. That makes us look like morons. And we are. So they don't like that. So they don't really like me. So I have had some problems, but it's never been production based. It's never been like they did something. For the most part, the game is very fair, in my opinion. And it's fair because all of the information that's out there is available for everybody. Like the fact that I thought of that thing with the skulls, that anyone could have thought of that. Like they could have done that. They could have implemented the same strategy to truly randomize the outcome. But instead, they just put their hand in and take the first one out. So when I didn't take the black skull, the next person just took the first thing they saw, and that was the one I was supposed to get. But I didn't do that. So it's like a lot of people blame themselves, as they should. So there's not much beef outside of the show, like real beef. Like there's people don't like each other or whatever because we're all trying to get camera time. We're all trying to do this or do that or make a name for ourselves. I don't have to do that anymore, which is a huge relief. But there's a lot of people that do. So they don't get to necessarily be their authentic selves. They have to, put on for the camera or fake drama or whatever. Those people are just annoying. It's like, you're just not really going to get invited to the party. Like, I don't care about you, but like, I'm not going to invite you to like a fun thing. That's as deep as it goes.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the questions I was going to ask was, are there people that you enjoy outside of the game, but you can't stand inside of the game? Just because maybe they're putting on that fake front in front of the cameras or they're trying to get more time.
Yeah.
You don't have to name anybody specifically. I guess
I'm happy to name people specifically. Don't give a single fuck. Don't care at all. So the first two names that come to mind just like right away, Amber, I really like outside of the game. Inside that game, she has absolutely no rules. There is nothing she won't do or say or manipulate and use real life problems to maneuver her way through the game. I've never seen anybody play a game with less of a moral compass than Amber. I respect that about her because she is a dog and she's a really good competitor. She's very smart. She's very calculated, and she is able to manipulate a lot of people. She seeks out emotionally vulnerable people, specifically women, and she uses things that they can identify with as a way to gain their trust, with no intention of fulfilling any promises that she makes to them. It's like I've never seen someone be so successful with it. It's very respectable, in my opinion. She is outstanding at playing this game. I love her outside of the game. She's not like that at all. She's very genuine and sweet, kind, would give you the shirt off her back. But in the game, she's cunning and cutthroat. Fessy's another one. Fessy outside of the game, great guy. Very, very fun to hang out with. A little unaware socially. He does do weird shit, and he always just chalks it up to like, I just do whatever I want, which is fine, but like also kind of embarrassing sometimes. It's like if what you want to do is embarrassing, then that's embarrassing. But in the game, he's another one. He'll do anything. He will do anything to win this game. And so I like hanging out with him, but I have a hard time trusting him in the game because there is no there's nothing you won't do. There's no integrity, in my opinion.
No,
But
that makes
outside of the
sense.
game, great guy. Can hammer cans. Would be a good guest on here, actually.
He's a big guy, dude. I
Dude,
assume he
he's
can
a-
hammer cans.
I
Yeah.
remember
He's
him,
a
actually. He was on Big, wasn't he
unit.
on Big Brother?
Yeah, he was on Big
He was
Brother.
Big Brother,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I
Dude,
watched the
Fessie's a
season, man.
unit,
Yeah,
and
he's a
he
beast.
can
Yeah.
hammer cans.
Wasn't he like he was supposed to be like an NFL tight end or some shit? I swear he was.
Something like that. He was a
He
football guy. He was a football guy, I remember.
Played tight end at Tennessee Chattanooga, and I believe he tied Terrell Owens' single season touchdown receptions
Holy shit.
for
So then
Tennessee Chattanooga in a run first offense. The kid's a dog. Don't get it twisted. He's
Yeah.
like I don't respect the way that Amber and Fessy play the game, but I respect that and their ability to play that game, and they're
so
very good at it.
you're a big like kind of don't hate the player, hate the game type thing, which
If
I
you
like
don't-
that.
yeah.
I like that though.
I'm never gonna sit here and say someone that's good at part of the reason that I don't like being discredited for my skill set is because just because you don't understand my skill set doesn't mean that it's not a skill set. It just means you don't understand it. So like there's no denying, because I can look at things objectively and without bias. Like I may not necessarily like somebody, but I respect the way they play the game. I respect that they're a good competitor. And if I want to beat them, you have to know their strengths as well as their weaknesses. Otherwise, what are you doing? You think a lot of people are really bad at the challenge because they see what they want to see instead of what's actually there. Damn. That's like a huge fucking problem with a lot of the people that play.
Have you so you've been on all these shows, have you had one show that you haven't been on, or like a dream show that you'd want to go on, since you've been like a pro and like dabbled in so many?
I'm assuming not Big Brother.
Like, would you like? I could see you, man. Like, get Devin on The Bachelor. Oh my god, Bachelor in Paradise or some shit, man.
So
there's not like a show you wanted to hop on, or
I'm
like
single
something
now.
you think you'd go on, like something.
Yeah,
you'd be good
I would do another dating show of some sort. I think The Bachelor. So here's the thing: I'm a bit too much of a wild card, as you probably have figured out through the extension of this interview. I'm not really like
shotguns.
Yeah, I'm not really CBS or ABC material.
True.
Okay. To be fair, I think those are a little bit more family friendly scenarios, and they're not super interested in me. So I don't know if I necessarily have a dream show. This new one that just came out, Paulie's brother is on it. I forget what it's called. Commanders or something like that. Essentially, it's like everyone's trying to lie to each other and form alliances. It's a Titans or something. I forget what it is. Someone will know what that's listening. They'll know what it is. Paulie's brother's on it now. That show I would do just based off of what it sounds like, but also I got to throw this out there. Love is Blind is the best reality show on planet Earth.
It's fucking really funny. Good. It's really so good. Funny.
It's outstanding. I would do Love is Blind.
Okay. I
would do Love is Blind. I'd like to do Love is Blind. I don't know what character I would be yet. Shout out to Shane from season 2.
Yep.
Best reality TV personality of all time. Yeah. He's my number one. His meltdown after striking out in home run derby at the bachelor party is one of my all-time favorite scenes in any show ever. It's electric. So I would do Love is Blind. Good question, and I would do Love is Blind.
My favorite moment from that show was the Shake guy when they did the reunion thing, where that guy just like for whatever reason just swung for the fences at the end. He's like, "Fuck this! Like, fuck everything! I'm going for it." And he's like, "Love isn't blind. Like, can we make it fucking blurry? Like something like that." And dude, one of the best lines I've ever heard. But one of the things I wanted to ask was because you were basically saying how some people are super cutthroat in the game, but like the nicest people outside of it. One of the things that I saw recently. I don't know if you were on her season. Her name's Alyssa. She was on Big Brother, and then she found her way to the challenge. But she was just like was it, like basically TMZ, a bunch of shit kind of came out on her because somebody put out a tweet saying, "Oh, there's a certain Big Brother person that's now like back at Hooters working there." So I guess, and she kind of clapped back. She did it probably the best way she could have, and she got a lot of media attention out of it. But do a lot of people in the shows, like when they're on there, when they're, the cameras are on them, do they think they're going to be superstars afterwards and then live completely outside of their means? Because I see it in the streaming world and the YouTube world where I see people doing shit. I'm like, you are not making that much money, bro. Like, I know it for a fact. So I guess your experience with that, like people just being kind of idiots, the second cameras to them, they're just over the top.
That's an interesting question. Good take. So I live in an apartment that costs $1,400 a month. I drive a 2014 Toyota Corolla, which is my deceased father's old car. I live very much within my means, and I always have. And I think that that's important because I don't want to work when I'm 40. I'm annoyed by the idea of having to work. It's annoying to me. And to go, where, do fucking what? This is stupid. I don't want to do that. It's annoying. I get it. I get for all of you out there that are doing it. Like I take photos of my ass and I'm annoyed by that. So like I can imagine how annoying a 9 to 5 is. A lot of people go on these shows and this is not their fault. This is what we call getting put in the blender. Producers are very good at convincing you that if you give them what they want to expand their career, that you will have great success beyond this show. Are You the One is the greatest example of that. For the most part, 80% of that cast came off that show thinking they were going to be Justin Bieber or Ariana Grande. I'm going to get 500,000 followers on Instagram. I'm going to sell skinny tea ads and be a millionaire. No, you're fucking not. You got casted. You got casted for, you might do that, but you might sell skinny tea, but you're not going to be a millionaire. You got casted for this show because you're impressionable, because you are manipulable. You're a moron. That's why they casted you. They casted you so they could mold you into whatever they want. And they casted me to remind you that you're a moron. That's what happened. 80% of you got casted for being morons, and 20% of us got casted to remind you you're a moron. That's what happened. So, but it's not their fault because they're morons. So like they think they have these delusions of grandeur that are like they've been told this thing now. They've been validated in their delusional self-worth. And once you're validated in that way, especially when you're on TV, you have your little 15 minutes, very hard to get out of that mindset. Credit to that girl for going back to Hooters. She should start an OnlyFans. She won't have to work at Hooters anymore.
Yeah, her whole thing was she basically said like her whole rent was paid for in like 2 days of working at Hooters. So she's like, why wouldn't I? I'm like,
yeah, she can pay her rent in 3 hours on OnlyFans. I do not get why every reality TV personality doesn't have an OnlyFans. If any of you are listening to this right now, use my referral code, please. It's a cheat code. It's a cheat code.
So on the podcast, we all know now, like you have an OnlyFans, right? And you think that it's like just a fucking gateway, cheese money, like easy.
There is absolutely no reason not to have one. If you have put yourself, and everyone's like, "Oh, what am my family gonna think?" What's your family think? You just fucking embarrassed yourself on TV. You ate a whole dick, literally, not sexually. You ate a dick. They made you eat a dick. Like
to swim 2 miles to get exactly.
And you just threw up in your own hair. Like which part of this? What's more embarrassing? Like you drunkenly, accosted a guy that's not into you for 45 minutes about a relationship that doesn't exist. Like which part of that's more embarrassing? I don't get it.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's very true.
It's crazy to me.
So you like, because I was saying to Buck before the podcast, like I live in a city with like 1 million people, and like I know you hate Big Brother, but like our city, right? Like this is butt fuck
That's
Canada.
kind of a joke. I actually do.
No.
I actually like Big Brother.
But okay, fair. It's not a bad show. But
For
either
the
way,
record, yeah.
so I'm in a small butt fuck city in Canada, right? We are the kings of having Big Brother stars make bar appearances here. You know what I mean? And like,
Interesting.
so have you gotten like any like stupid offers? Like you've probably got a million like bar appearance offers, but like do you have any like memorable like what the fuck is this offer? I would never do that. Or like maybe like a
Literally
weird
zero.
one. I don't know, anything like that.
What's very interesting is I get no offers. I get no brand deals.
Really?
I get no bar appearance offers.
Wow.
None of it. I wouldn't necessarily accept them anyways. I think
Would
that
they pay decent though? Like, cause I'm telling you, like, dude, I see Big Brother fuckers at my like, meet Big Brother stars like here every year.
yeah, for
there's
$5,000
people.
to go to Canada, like
So it would
I'm
be
not
around like that's how much it is. Like they're making like 5 Gs. to
yeah,
do
I'm
that
not
shit.
saying $5,000 is nothing, but like I don't know.
That's pretty good though. I mean,
Yeah,
just
that's
fucking
also
show up.
that's a grind though. So think about that. Like, let's just break that down. That's if you were to do if that was sustainable and you did
Okay.
that every weekend for a year, twice a weekend, Friday and Saturday, different cities, 5 a pop, you're clearing $500,000 a year. Top
It's true.
point,
It's
top
true.
0.3% of all creators
Yeah.
on OnlyFans.
To go
You're a
show up at a
boy.
fucking bar. Yeah. Exactly.
And I have a terrible ass. It's atrocious. I have no idea how people are into it. It makes no sense. I'm looking at the same photos. I'm thinking to myself, I really shouldn't post this. There's no shot. I can't imagine this would arouse somebody, but it does, and it makes their day. And they tell me, they say, you want to know what? You just made my day. Well, I guess that's what it is. So I guess my counter argument to that, or not counter argument, but just my point to that would be, if you're going to spend the time to travel somewhere, to do this, to do that, to get paid $5,000, there are way more efficient ways to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like, if you want to do a bar appearance, I don't know, do it in your backyard. Don't go to fucking, no offense, but don't
No, like that's my point, right? Like they do come here all the fucking time.
yeah, they're
Like,
trying to milk
consistently.
they're trying to milk their little fame. Also, all those people are never going to get another show.
A lot of them haven't. You're not wrong. A lot
They're
of them
never
haven't.
this is their one moment to potentially bang a fan.
Yeah. I
and
hate to
so
say that
they're-
one girl that Casey she's come here before.
I like
Casey's
Casey a lot.
She's been here. She's been here. She did a bar
Also
appearance
someone who can hammer cans.
here. Really?
Dude, Casey
She's
can
a beast, dude.
Casey can sip with the best of them. That I fucking love her. She
She's fucking
is
awesome.
She's a beast.
Our relationship started off rocky, but she is an outstanding person. She's very smart. She's calculated. She's athletic. She's that's the fucking real deal. In my opinion, and no offense to my partner, Tori, I've told Tori this. The 2 best players I've ever played the game with, Casey's 1, Tori's 2. On the female side.
Casey's
And then
a beast,
Sarah
man.
and then Sarah
Monster.
Rice is in the 3 spot.
Okay, so I know you said you only had till 5:30, so we'll have or I guess it's 5:30 for us.
I've got another
7:30
10
p.m.
minutes if we want.
Okay.
We
All right.
haven't finished. I mean,
I'm
it's
almost
like,
done mine, bro. Fuck.
there's-
what I'm supposed to
two
do is just go downstairs and watch this football game. I just didn't know what kind of interview this was going to be, so I gave you guys a time
Yeah, the
limit in
football
case
games
it
are like
sucked.
in an hour. We got an hour
Well,
for the next
It's
game.
actually
We got an
kind of
hour.
fun, though.
All right, I'm glad you've enjoyed it. So the question I wanted to ask was the people that, because you're saying, OnlyFans, everybody should have one if you've been on MTV before. Is there a specific person from a reality TV show, it doesn't even have to be someone you've been on or a show you've been on, where they've lateraled their career way better, like, how do I say it, from like MTV to like, they don't even need to worry about going on MTV ever again anymore? And is there someone you've seen just absolutely implode after being on TV and then just everything kind of went to shit after?
Yeah, well, obviously, The Miz is the number one success story.
He was
Mike
on
The
reality
Miz.
TV.
I forgot about that.
Mike
yeah.
The Miz.
I didn't know that.
Mike the Miz Mazzanti was on Real World and then did multiple challenges.
I didn't know that.
He won his first one, went on to be a gigantic multiple world champion. He's won it several times. He's an outstanding guy, really nice person, super cool.
That's sick.
Wes Bergman's another one. Wes does not ever have to do another TV show if he doesn't want to. Wes enjoys doing the show. Wes doesn't have to do the show. Beta Blocks is absolutely fucking killing it. The Blocks, his own, he just made his own reality show for his entrepreneurial startup company called Beta Blocks. Check it out and check out The Blocks. Shout out Bergman. My mentor, one of my closest friends. He's an absolute stud. Bananas, another one. Doesn't have to do it if he doesn't want to do it. He's got a podcast. He's got, his own show. Probably will continue to do it just to preserve his legacy, but doesn't have to. Implosion stories. God, there's so many. Where would we even start? I mean, throw a dart at the board. 96% of people that have been on the show have completely fucked up their whole shit.
Is it just in terms of they live outside their lifestyle, or they have this one idea about themselves that is
they were morons.
Reality?
We've been over this.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah.
They were
I'm trying to say it in a nice way.
Yeah. They were always a moron. They'll always be a moron, and they never quite were able to bridge that gap. And that's truly what it is, and that's the majority of people that are on these shows. Is that's just how it is. If you don't get a W, if you don't win one, right, you're not getting paid a lot. I get paid well, I think, because I've done several. But if it's your first one, you're getting $1,000 a week.
I was gonna say, it's a weekly stipend thing? Is what?
Yeah.
And if you make it one week, you get to the next one, you get another $1,000
a week.
Oh yeah,
a week,
okay.
And that's what a lot of viewers don't understand is that is playing in big time into decisions that are made in the game. Everyone's like, well, why did this person do this? Because they need the money of the next weekly check.
Yeah.
And so if they take a shot early, they're afraid that it's going to come back to them and they're not going to get that next weekly check. And so that's like a huge underlying aspect of all reality competition series that viewers never get an insight into, which is, what does this person's bank account look like? What's fueling their decisions? Because I got lucky with some decisions early in my life that have kind of set me up to be always able to play these games freely. So that's why you see me I don't give a, you guys just drank in succession.
I just noticed that as well. And I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah.
That's actually, that was lit. That's the preview. Yeah, that's the preview. That's the preview. Some people they have to play differently because they need the money. When you need something, you are vulnerable. And if you are vulnerable in this game, especially in the challenge, there's blood in the water. The sharks are going to come. And we will find out what your biggest vulnerability is and exploit you for it. Which is why I've been able to play the game that I have been able to play, is because I do not fucking care. I don't care who I offend. I don't care who's coming after me. I don't care.
Those are the best, though, man. Best players are always that way.
Yeah. Just if you think you can beat me, then come and beat me.
Exactly.
If you really think you can do it, then come on. I'm 6-2 in eliminations.
That's a disgusting record, but I'm not trying to blow smoke. That is a gross record on the challenge, by the way.
Are you the one winner? Literal reason we won. Second chances. Are you the one second chances winner? 2-time finalist on the challenge. 2-time bronze medalist winner. I'm still there this season. We don't know what's going to happen. 12 shows. I'm a fucking dog. I got my feet up. I'm drinking 40 ounces with two guys I don't know, having a great time. Like the screen's starting to get blurry.
Oh yeah.
Went to the gym this morning. Was up till 4 a.m. with a stranger.
Have you? So you talk about like other shows and these guys like doing other shit with the reality stuff after. Do you have a reality TV show idea that you've ever like brewed in your head yourself that would bang, you think?
Yeah, I've got a couple really, really good ones.
You surely have to. You have to.
I'm not gonna send. I'm not
Yeah, I
gonna
was gonna
say
say,
it.
don't
right.
have somebody else. Don't have
No,
somebody else
I'm
steal it
not
from
gonna
you.
say it right now.
Trademark
But I've got such a good one.
Yeah.
That I don't even want to say too much. I have such a good one. All I'll say is that Nelson's the main character.
All right.
And I have such a good one for Nelson that honestly should get picked up because he is the gift that keeps giving. My man Nelly T is so genuine and he's so fucking lovable because so we talk about a lot of people that need to do this or that for the camera. Nelson is authentic. He is the way that he comes across. And it's just he's just super layered. He's just a really layered person. So like people sometimes give him shit for being inconsistent, but it's like that he's just got a lot of layers. So like obviously he's going to be inconsistent. But my gold, what I have in my back pocket, revolves around Nelson or somebody like him.
And you've been like working on it, like seriously, like
I have a
pushing
deck.
it, like
Yeah, I have a whole deck.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
badass.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
There you
It
go.
could happen. I'm hoping to produce it myself actually because I don't want anyone to put him in the blender. We were talking
Yeah.
about the blender for a minute. That's what the blender
Yeah,
is.
no, you brought up the
Yeah.
blender.
The blender is when production gets in your head and makes you be something that you're not. You have to protect people that are vulnerable to the blender.
Okay.
Because otherwise you just get fucked. You get a one and done. You get fucking who's a good example of this? Never mind. That's kind of rude. Moving on.
Okay, so final question, and then there's gonna be another one where we basically every podcast we try to leave someone with like a little bit of knowledge, something they can take away from it. But the one thing I wanted to ask, just because I'm curious about it, is has there ever been a season that you filmed of a reality TV show where obviously you went through the entire thing and then you saw it on television and the producers scripted it to be like completely a different perspective than you had like while you were there, where they made somebody the villain that wasn't really a villain, or I guess where they altered basically what was going
like
on.
how a
what really
season was
wasn't.
portrayed on TV. Like,
Yeah.
was it the same as what you
Yeah,
experienced?
the biggest shift in editing that I've seen essentially is like, yeah, I mean they can control a lot. I've never been. So here's my stance on this. If you give it to them,
They'll use it.
and you need to know that.
True.
Yeah.
So if you don't want, and you have to, if you're not a forward thinker and you can't, I am a production nightmare. I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't think I'll get casted for another show for a while because of this reason. They can't trick me. Which is not. They're in the market of getting people to do what they want them to do, and I'm not really. You can't really manipulate me in that way.
I feel like they have to have some people like that on the show though, because if there's a bunch of idiots, people be like, fuck this, like these guys suck. But you almost need one person that you bank on figuring it out for everybody, or someone you think is smarter than the rest.
Yeah. The issue though there is that it's our political climate now is we've turned to an area where there's a lot of things that you can't say, and there's a lot of people that are super dumb. And so when I can intelligently have any conversation and articulately and respectfully have any conversation about any hot button issue, and I enjoy having those types of discussions. So when I'm locked in a house with people, I want to have those kinds of conversations. And that's very dangerous because they don't know what the other person's going to say.
That's true.
And that
or
could,
edited also, right?
That could completely fuck them. The craziest thing to your point recently is that they've been taking a lot of things out of the shows.
Okay.
They've been protecting people way more than I've ever seen.
Where they slip up and they say something dumb and they make sure it doesn't air at all.
Well, not even say something dumb. There's been full on episodes of like people having like saying crazy shit, like doing crazy shit. that gets
Damn.
completely cutting room
Yeah.
floored. And we're all watching it, right, from our TVs, being like, okay, well, finally, I'm hoping that this person is going to be shown for their true colors. And for whatever reason, it could be, pressures from powers that be or whatever it is. It's like, we don't want to show that. That's not what we want the show to be about. So that type of shit is all completely clipped. I haven't seen it really go the other way where like someone that was cool the whole time they made look bad, but I've seen someone that was bad the whole time they made them look cool.
Okay.
Or just eliminated their behavior altogether.
Okay.
Which is bizarre to me because take reality out of the title then.
That's
true.
That's a fair
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's I had big problems with the X on the Beach production company. That show in particular, at least I'll just speak only to my season. They were asking me to do crazy shit. I said, absolutely not. I actually called an Uber. I told them I had to make a call to my mom because I was having an emergency, and I called an Uber and packed my bag and started walking to the top of the thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they came running out and they were like, dude, you can't leave. I was like, fucking yes, I can. I'm getting the fuck out of here for sure. Yeah, I was like, you guys keep asking me to do dumb shit. I'm not doing that. And that's the difference between someone that needs to be on TV. I guess the moral of my story is like, have sympathy for people that look really stupid on TV because it wasn't their. I mean, they are stupid, but like also imagine being a stupid person that's in a room of like it's like an interrogation when people admit to things they didn't do. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's been a lot of cases that have been overturned by this type of shit, where it's like they get you in there, dude, that interview room. They'll spin your head up. They'll send you back into the house with a completely different mindset, and you'll be like,
Wow,
"Wait a minute, you embarrassed me, or you did that." And it's like, no, they told you that, and you had a couple spritzers, and now you think it's reality. It's like that's not what happened. But they are masters. I will give producers a lot of credit. They are masters at planting seeds.
Yeah, I believe it.
I could see that, of course.
What I was going to say is the only show that I see, I guess, like the most drama about is Big Brother because there's cameras rolling 24/7. So no matter what producers actually cut out of the actual show, there are psychos online that'll
That are
sit
watching,
there.
yeah, the feed,
Right.
24/7. Their life is like one monitor here with Big Brother and the next one's here. And it's like, dude, that's where I don't think you can.
Recording everything. Like they're like probably have a recording on all the shit that's
that's another reason I can never do Big Brother.
Dude, it seems so fucking
They
sketchy.
they cannot have your boy on a live feed.
So you would never like Big Brother comes to you and is like, yo, we want you on our shit. You would never like touch
Absolutely
Big Brother.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Absolutely.
Even if the offer was like crazy.
The celebrity one where you can drink beers and it's 4 weeks, maybe.
Okay.
The normal one, dude, they don't let you drink beer.
They don't let you. So that's why
there's no alcohol.
Those people, dude, this is why they're so fucking crazy.
I would lose it, bro. I would lose my mind.
They're all in there completely sober for 100 days.
Oh.
They're not even allowed to go outside.
Oh no, I could.
That's why they're all bonded. They're all bonded by trauma. That's why they come into the challenge and immediately link up with each other. So they've all gone through this traumatic experience of Big Brother. This shit's fucked up. Same thing with the Survivor people. They're all fucking tapped.
True. Yeah.
It's like, dude, I ate Beatles for fucking 40 days. I'm like, they're like, what show did you come from? I was like, I lived in a mansion, banged a bunch of hot chicks, and won $1 million. Like, we are not the same. I'm sorry.
That's fair, man. That's hilarious.
We had a keg in the backyard. You ate a fucking spider for breakfast.
You made $20. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
This is ridiculous. So yeah, there's a lot of built-in. There's a lot of built-in weird. The combination of MTV and CBS truly doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Because the concepts of the shows are so different.
That's
like
incredible.
I love them, but they are fucking weirdos. They're weirdos. They're all weird. Josh is cool, fucking weirdo. Casey's super cool, also a weirdo. Fessy's cool, weirdo. Michelle's cool, weirdo. Jay's cool, weirdo. Like, I like them all. I like to go on vacation with them, but they're fucking weird. And those are the best of the best. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm also a fucking weirdo. But it's just like, I don't know. They're really
Well, the story of how you got picked up is like that's what like that blows my mind. Like
Yeah.
you got picked up because you pour a fucking candle on yourself, and it was an oil.
no.
Like,
Thought it was a
that's
candle.
insane.
Turned
You
out it
thought
was just hot
candle.
oil.
Well,
Like,
that's the
that's
thing.
fucked.
They thought you were the weirdo, dude, is what it was at the beginning. But
Exactly.
then producers obviously find out differently afterwards that you're outsmarting all these idiots in the house. So
Dude, it
But that's
takes
great.
one ayahuasca trip to figure out that your ego needs to get destroyed. And when you walk into a
Yeah.
house of fucking a bunch of people with gigantic egos, it's pretty easy to just dive back into that and be like, oh, what did I learn when I was an actual, living, breathing, thinking thing? These people are fucking idiots. And then they don't like that. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
all right. So the final question, just so we can leave people with a little bit of knowledge. I think I'm sure they've taken some of this though. I know you've
Hope
said
they have.
inside the show, you're supposed to see it for what it is, and people play with their hearts and all that shit. In order, because I know there's a load of people out there that see you, they see others, and they want to be on reality TV so badly. What I guess would be your advice aside from dumping a wax or an oil candle on yourself to get on TV? How do these people position themselves the best to be on television, aside from being a fucking idiot?
Okay, so first of all, that was my path, so that one's
Yeah.
taken. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait for me to retire to fill that void. Idiot starter position taken. First of all, I would recommend it. A lot of people would say, I don't know if I recommend it. I didn't have a good time. That's because you're a fucking moron. So it's pretty simple. If you're like hot and you have any sort of social awareness, just apply for it. But also, so here's the thing. You actually do have to be hot. I know we're in a society now where everyone's like, this,
Body
it's that,
positivity,
whatever.
yeah,
It's like,
I know
okay,
what you mean.
so that works. We can all say that, and I'm body positivity. I got fucking C cup breasts. You're not gonna see me talking down to anybody. But it's like you can't be you need to be realistic in your appearance, right? So like if you want to be on there as a 10 and you're a 6, that's probably not going to work out. Like know where you are would be my
Love
advice.
Island. Yeah, Love Island isn't the show for you. Yeah.
Like be reasonable with what you're trying out for, right? Because
Survivor. All the 6s go to Survivor.
it's not that there are shows for you. You just gotta figure them out. You gotta figure out where you fit in the best.
Like 90 Day
don't waste
Fiancé or some shit.
Yeah, don't waste your time applying for shows that don't want you. That would be my best advice.
There you go. That's great advice.
Do it. I would recommend it. I do think it's fun.
It looks fucking fun, dude. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know the next football game's starting up, and we're all cheering for the Chargers. Is the consensus
baby.
right now?
Yeah, come on, Chargers.
Go Bolts, baby.
Come on, Chargers. So, Devin, seriously, thank you for coming on. That was a
That was
shitload
sick,
of fun,
man.
If you guys haven't followed Devin, all of his links will be down below, even the one where you can see his butt as well.
Thank you.
And that'll be there. So we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.